Hello everyone and welcome to today's No FOMO Charts TA live stream. Today is September 18th, 2022. It's about 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Sunday evening here in the USA. We're going to go over some stocks, ETFs, and cryptocurrencies today. If you have a request for a ticker symbol, just go ahead and type it in the live chat and at some point we'll get to it. All right, let's start off with just a little bit of news and watch list. If you're in my Discord group, I did just release this list. So just for example, I release a weekly watch list for earnings volatility, economic data, and any current events and news. Or if there's a really amazing technical chart setup, I might release that. But I have not been releasing TA chart setups that much because I understand that the fundamentals are overriding technical charts right now. So with the earnings volatility, we have companies such as AutoZone, Stitch Fix, Lennar Corporation, General Mills, Trip.com. The two big ones are Costco and FedEx. Carnival Cruise is in there and Darden Restaurants as well. The big economic data we have this week are the USA FOMC, the Federal Reserve economic projections, the statements, the federal funds interest rate, the big one, the FOMC press conference, and Fed Chair Powell speaking again on Friday as well. So this is all happening on 9/21 Wednesday, USA time, and 9/23 Friday, USA time as well. That's going to be huge in terms of impact, which has already been generally priced in as well. But just a couple more besides the usual news that's been going on for the whole entire year in regards to interest rate, inflation, supply chain, recession risk, consumer confidence, supply chain issues, issues in Europe and Asia, cryptocurrency volatility and sentiment, and then also just a couple new things happening this week is the NVIDIA conference for several days from Monday to Thursday, apparently. And in the USA, 7 bank CEOs are set to testify before both the USA House Committee and the Senate 2 separate days. That's Wednesday and Thursday. And also separately, the USA House Committee, a special committee, is going to hold a hearing regarding cryptocurrencies and their place in the financial world. USA Senate also holding a hearing regarding Russia sanctions, and also a separate hearing on federal oversight of antitrust laws. So that might all sound very boring, but if you've worked for a corporation or institution or a global company, there's a schedule for almost everything, right? In terms of the agenda, what's happening, what projects are people working on, what's on the schedule, what's needs to get done, what's happening, what are the problems, what do corporations need to fix, etc. I mean, we just heard from, if you heard the FedEx news last week, that basically FedEx is going to have to close some locations and stores, and that their 2023 guidance is basically scrapped for now. And they're having some own internal issues, but it's a signal, right? A large corporation like that having trouble, it's not good right now. So the sentiment that's been happening in the past week, or actually this month, is that recession risk is increasing again. Consumer confidence in terms of social sentiment with trading and investing has come down. And that is also reflected in who's showing up on these streams, right? Like if we were in an extreme bull market, there would be a lot more people in the live chats, but it's not the case for this whole year. So I understand the inflation and a downtrend in the market is basically, either causing losses or for like the average person, or causing money issues, inflation issues for the average person in America, right? At least. So that brings us to right now. Where are we right now, and where are we going? So this week the FOMC meeting is going to be huge. Why did I focus so much on news? Because this is a very high impact week for fundamental financial news. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is going to be very, very important. So that having that mindset and understanding that's what's happening this week and not getting too hyper focused on one small altcoin or a penny stock is where the skill and knowledge and experience will come into play. Okay, so let's begin with the TA charts. So with S&P 500, we're looking at futures paid data right now. And again, we did get this downturn. So the bearish scenario from my live stream last week played out, and we had basically a very bearish week. It was also because of bad news that crashed the market. But again, is it all over? Should we quit stocks forever? No. Everybody knows. At least the professionals that I'm reading and seeing their quotes is the big money. They know if they just wait for the true market bottom, wherever that's going to be, it could be way lower than this, or it could be at 3,600, it could be 3,900. We just lost 3,900, but it could be 3,700, 3,600, 3,500, right? Wherever the low is going to be is where bulls need to re-enter the market. But the only caveat I have right now is just be aware of the financial news that's coming out in your own country with your own government, because everybody's a little bit different in terms of their country. So again, the bullish case scenario is, well, if we could hold these lows down here above 3,600, then we might be able to establish a potential bullish upside down head and shoulders in the temporary. It's not quite possible that it's going to happen because the fundamental question is, well, the market might not recover until inflation or interest rates start going down, or maybe the Russia-Ukraine war ends, or maybe COVID ends. One of those three or four has to happen, right, for stock market and the economy to kind of recover. But as it stands right now, okay, as an investor, we have this large pullback, okay, and it's still downtrending, right? We have this large, let me just start over here with the drawings. We have a large trend line resistance on the top. This support level is kind of tricky. So we could actually crash back down to 3,700 if the sell-off is bad. So the question is, well, is the interest rate hike that's going to happen this Wednesday, 75 basis points to 100 basis points projected, expected? Is this what this is priced into right here? People knowing that? Possibly. But if not everybody knows that and there's more selling off, we could immediately hit 3,700 to 3,600 within a week or two of the sell-off if it keeps going bad down here in the blue. So that's the support level for the investors that we're looking at, kind of this V-shape issue down here. We might get another V-shape. It's possible. V-shape bounce. So if I'm a bull, I'm kind of waiting for that. Wherever the crash is going to be, if there's going to be a V-shaped bounce recovery back up to 4,000 or something like that, after it crashes down to 3,600, back to 38 or to 4,000, that's something I want to try to capture down here in the support level, right? So that what I just said is kind of the bearish scenario. If we just keep getting bearish continuation as an investor, just watch out for that on the downside, because we have a lot of news, a lot of news, right? The daily is not even oversold at this point. The 4 hour is, and the 1 hour is oversold. Well, the 4 hour is, but the 1 hour is not. So we could see in the futures overnight, the Asia and the European session, everybody's waiting for this data, FOMC interest rate. But I'm going to watch out for support levels. So where's the support level right here on this chart? 38.52. Looking left, 38.90 as well. Right, so just put this big bar here and see if this thing holds. All right, we have these levels all the way down to like a 38. It's a very large range, but I'm going to give it some breathing room, about 1%. There is a little bit of bullish momentum on the 1 hour. It's just the 5 minute and the 15. Right now, you're gonna want, if you're trying to day trade it, you're gonna want to see what happens at 9 a.m. Not right now. It's too early to day trade the USA session a day before. Doesn't make any sense. So just getting a general idea of what might happen. right? This is getting a little bit choppy here. See if this bottoms out overnight here in this 3,800 range. If it does, if we do find a true bottom, it might even go back down to 3,850 or 3,800, but there is a 4-hour large MACD bullish momentum that is forming. So that is at some point going to pop to the upside. Even if it's just a little bit, it can pop up like 2%, 1 to 2% up this way, right? If it pulls back down, we'll double bottom and then it should rise. But that's pending news, the financial news, right? That's why I'm not posting all of this all the time, right? Everyone's being a little bit more cautious right now. Bears are in firm control. So even if you get a MACD bullish momentum or RSI oversold, right, you can still pop up, head and shoulders, and crash down again. So, we don't want to jump in too fast. All right, let's switch over to NASDAQ, NQ1. And somebody might think like, oh, this is so boring or this doesn't matter. Actually, it matters. If you're an investor, if you're trying to do stocks or crypto well, be profitable, just going down the line of your ticker symbol list. Very important. So NQ1 is still in the downtrend. We set the resistance pivot point. This is much more steep here. This can even draw one probably like that. But again, you can see the multiple supports on the downside, right? This 11,590 area or even the 11,000 flat even. Okay, so just very quick, and that's confirmed with our supports on the left side as well. We can retest the 200 EMA, definitely possible. The day chart, bringing this up, right? I don't see a candle pattern just yet. The day is not quite oversold yet. The 4-hour again is building, but we could pull back down one more time in terms of the low high, low high. If we don't double bottom right above 11,726, we could pull back down to 11,500. Thank you for watching and following on TradingView. Sometimes it just looks like I have 0 views, but there's actually people watching. So, if you want to say hi or if you want to request a ticker symbol, just go ahead and just type it, because on my end, I don't really see anything until somebody types something. Okay, so NQ1, again, the 4-hour divergence in terms of bullish momentum might pop, but then you want to see it get into somewhat like this range right here, 11,500, 11,400. But that would mean tech stocks have to continue to sell off. So it's very similar to S&P 500. The bears took firm control, but see if we can hold this bottom here at the support level. Hey, thank you so much, P. Peloso, for the 500 coins. Thank you so much for watching and following. I really appreciate it. I hope the stream is enlightening or helping you in some way. Thank you. Hello, everybody on TradingView. Really appreciate it. So again, if anybody has a request or something, just go ahead and type it in, and after some of the big indexes, we'll move on. All right, let me just move on here. Weekly on the Dow Jones. So we're just stuck in this range again, just trying to hold above this support level range down here in the 31,000 to 30,000 range. That's kind of large, this large yellow box. 3% is huge. But if we can maintain and hold the support here above the 30,000, that would be very nice, right? Very small chance we could get a bullish upside down head and shoulders, but we would need a lot of bullish news, meaning everything bad happening in the world globally to stop, right? Or at least the financial problems like inflation and interest rate hikes. So I'll just call this one out in terms of the support level. Still in the downtrend, right? 4-hour downtrend. So trying to buy this right now is a little risky. It's not an uptrend if you're a bull. If you're conservative bull, it's not the exact spot. But if we can hold above 30,300 or 30,000, that would be great for support. If we lose that, I mean, if we start downtrending hard, and anyone else who doesn't know about inflation interest rate, that's going to happen this week, the interest rate going up. If we get more panic selling, I mean, I'm looking down here at support 30,000. Okay. But if it happens to double bottom, like I said for the other things, 36,000, 30,600, okay, we could hit 31.5 or 32. Very nice. But keep in mind that even with all these indicators flashing around, is it still downtrending? This thing is pointing down, right? It is not July. When it was July, it was easy. You just buy one of these dips or support with a stop loss. If somebody's like brave enough with risk management, emotional management, with profit target, I'm talking about this, like this type of thing. If somebody's trying to play the index, get like a 2 to like a 1% for like day trading or swing trading or whatever somebody's trying to do, just keep, try to buy these dips. Might get stopped out once or twice, but trying to get in, it's not impossible. But trying to get in here is where people really get hurt in the market, because sometimes the psychology or the terms is, yes, this is a dip, right? You could say, oh, dip, buy the dip. Everybody knows that. Buy low, sell high. Everybody tries to do that, right? So it's like low, 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 right? But then here, this one is not the uptrend anymore, right? So that's why sometimes when it gets too high up, I just don't even try to long it. And also when there's a bearish, super bearish pattern like that, you don't like trying to play that. So right now, do I see the reversal pattern at the current price? No, not really. That's why I'm not excited about it. It kind of looks like this side, right? If we just compare, let's just say April, May. All right, let me put it in a vertical. Like these kinds of drops versus this kind of drop. It's looking similar, right? You have a low and you go high, and you low, you get one more attempt at high and you fall down again. And then something really good has to happen before you market goes up, right? Same thing here. This one is really steep, very weak bounce, but then we double bottom, and then we kind of chopped around, and then finally we broke up to the upside. So I think something like that's going to happen again, where you might get a little bit of a bounce, maybe, for example, and then it might fall back down again, or a copy of this in June and just crash down, and then somewhere down here might be a tradable bottom. That's why I'm holding right now. In terms, I'm not going to buy anything tomorrow, for example, for swing trading. Just wait a little bit in my style, right, for swing trading. Because for my style, I don't really jump in middle of the move. That's why you don't hear me like FOMO chasing too much. I usually buy the bottom if I'm patient enough, and I sold at the top here for my stuff, my stocks and crypto. All right, let's move on. I know some people, I saw them talking about US oil, and so I understand what they're talking about. So we lost the support level. We're on a day chart, US oil. The problem is yes, we lost the support trend line, but we also have a bearish head and shoulders pattern. Now, US oil energy stocks, ETFs, they do not always follow the charts. It's very fundamental, like real world news corporation, government based. So this is very much related to Russia, Ukraine, and Europe, and America and Asia energy supply chain, supply and demand. So I'm just saying, maybe if it's a bearish head and shoulders, like I say, it could drop negative 25% if you measure this. But it's going to take some extreme fundamental changes to get down to $52. So probably what I see people talking about when they're saying US oil bulls, they're probably talking about very, very short term setups, right? There was an hourly setup 3 days ago or 1 week ago, right? Somebody buying this low, that's 7% a week. So that's probably, if somebody's doing options or something like that, that's what they're talking about. But in terms of the trend, 4 hours, it's still downtrending. You have the 4 hour death cross. We have this 4 hour death cross, right? So for me, I just follow the price. The news is usually late, right? So in terms of somebody trying to be like, oh, let's buy oil now, it's like, no, it's downtrending right now. So why am I gonna long that unless I see a very good setup? Which to my eyes, I don't see it yet. It's not in my buy point criteria. Yeah. So for me, I'm gonna pass on U.S. oil. All right, UNG, natural gas. We did get the pop up and the pullback down. So exactly what I said last time on the stream was going to happen. We were right here on last week's, 2 weeks ago stream, right here. And I said, watch out for the pop up for the head and shoulders and the possible pullback down, right? Because you make this bearish pattern and you pull back down. So literally that's what happened for the past 2 weeks. Fascinating how technical analysis can play out. The only thing is now we're holding above the support line, $27. Okay, this is also the 100 EMA on the daily. Want to watch out for that, because if this immediately loses support, 23% down is the target, $20, and that is also the past level of liquidity support on the left side. If we look at a weekly as well, this is kind of this bearish momentum. This could be a large bearish pattern. Even though it did golden cross to the upside, the price has double topped in turns last week or a month ago, and it's starting to lose momentum. So I'm being a little bit careful on UNG, right? Because if it's not going to uptrend forever, it could pull back all the way down to $22. It might not fully close the M to the downside. It could pull back here and then try to rally up, right? Because is it going up? Yes, but then where's the higher low? It should be $23, $24. It might even retest the 200 EMA support, 22 exactly. So day trader is probably going to try to take a little bite of this in terms of the bulls, right? The little 5, 15, or 1 hour, something like that, right? It is getting oversold for their time frame in the day traders. So we might see a little bit of a pop up, 3 to 6% on UNG in the, especially in the 1 hour, large MACD bullish momentum right here. So this might happen. But that's under the assumption that the market doesn't crash for a whole week straight again, right? So if the market stops crashing, this might have a shot at bouncing up. Possible setup here on UNG, but the charts don't always work for UNG. All right, let's move on. Let's just take a quick look. What time is it? 22 minutes. Okay, so let's take a quick look at some of the big stocks really fast, just to see what's going on. Let's look at Apple and like Microsoft, Google, just what's going on in our big tech sector. So this is Apple for 2022, most of the chart. We made another, so I did call the start of the bearish momentum. That was about a month, 2 to 3 weeks early, but then it crashed back down, way down to 152, right? So this is kind of a tough short, but the head and shoulders and brought us back down. So where's it going to retrace to? We already lost to 50%. So the next big level is 146, 140. If we're talking about investing, big investing levels, right? The daily with we lost the 200 EMA on Apple. That's not good. Last time that happened was May. Apples to apples, oranges to oranges comparison. Last time we lost the 200 EMA was May 6th. And then we dropped down a lot more, but that's because Russia-Ukraine war and inflation fears. So, will that happen again? Maybe. It could. It could. Let's take a quick aside note here in saying that the inflation problem kind of reminds me of COVID problem back in 2020, where we had a lot of false starts, meaning that if you're in America and you remember March, April, May, June, July 2020, when COVID was first starting, like we got the announcement of vaccines and people were really excited. Like, oh yes, now vaccines are here in 2020. Now, maybe in 3 to 6 months, travel is going to open again, and like the airline and cruise stocks, pumped up, and then it crashed again for like another year. So that's what this inflation problem feels like on the charts. Is people are getting excited, like, oh, one good CPI number came down right here in earnings, and then everyone thinks, inflation problem's over or COVID problem's completely over. It's like, no, not really. And it pulled back down. So with all that being said, is what am I going to trust? Am I going to trust the news or am I going to trust the chart? I'm going to trust the chart price. So it's still downtrending right now. It needs to prove to me to stop crashing and reverse, and then we might get another bullish rally. But that could happen more towards the earnings date for Apple, or if there's news that shakes up the market. 4 hour, not quite oversold. We did a little bounce here. Very interesting. 1 hour bounce. Okay, 1 hour is oversold. Okay, nice for these intermediate swing traders. A little bullish momentum forming here on Apple. We might get a pullback on the day trading before this thing tries to attempt a rally. Be watching for that. The 15-minute, the 5-minute is a little bit overbought, but it's starting to upcross. Is this the real upcross right here, or is it a little fake out? That's why I'm not going to call it right now, because we're in the pre-market, post-market basically. So just watch out for that. So the support levels, I call them out, the big support levels. The resistance is 154, 160, and 165. So I'll be watching out for that. If we get a trend change, like a little baby day trading trend change, watch out for that. Microsoft, I'll just call support and resistance before we move on here. But Microsoft, the 1 hour, 4 hour, looking like having some bullish momentum. And again, I'm not getting super excited about these setups because I know we have FOMC data in 3 days from now. So these are all maybe setups. What needs to happen is the hedge funds, the institutions need to stop selling, or we need to have a little short squeeze if we're going to try to get a little bullish rally pump this week. Right? Meaning, is all the fear priced in? If so, we get a little short squeeze. If not, going down again. Because the trend is still down. Low, high, low, high, low. Maybe we'll get a lower high bounce to 250 and then crash back down to 239. Something like that. Watch out for that 250. Resistance up here. The lower low at 240 right here. The double bottom. We'll see what happens on the price. No, the chart looks messy, but the 4 hour on this chart is actually on the oversold range. So maybe might get the bounce. That's maybe. What's the risk to reward if I just bought right now? A very small trade. Yeah, maybe like 3 to 1 or 3 to 1.5 if you include the wick. It's not bad. I might have to wait for that. Okay, Google. Interesting. So here's an example where just barely getting stopped out, right? Just barely getting stopped out. And that's okay. That happens on trading, right? Do I give up? No, I don't give up. Can't make too many, can't get stopped out too many times, right? Like you can't get stopped out 50 times like that. But you know, if you get stopped out one time, but then you have 2 profitable or 4 profitable trades after that, it's totally fine. So it's in the Google liquidity zone, the support zone. Excellent. Excellent. As an investor, I know, okay, back of my head, it could crash down below 100, maybe get to 97, right down here. Okay, we know that. Daily, possible lower low set. 4 hour, possible bullish momentum building on that MACD. The 1 hour, already getting a little bit of that head start bounce. 5-minute 15, very similar to all the text. So this is all algorithmic trading. It's all algorithms. And a short, this is somebody closing their short right here on this day, on Friday. So, you know, see if we get another small pullback and then the stop loss of 2%. This profit target is still like 4% up here for Google. Or if you're an investor, right, it just depends. If it bounces one more time, that'd be great. Phenomenal volatility in the next 3 to 6 months. Use 10 to 20% to the upside. But if it rejects down, it bounces just like 3% and crashes down, then I know it's good to wait. So these consolidations, good education reminder right here is it doesn't always bounce up, right? It could actually just keep crashing down, lose the floor, so to speak. If you lose the floor, then the measured move is 10 to 15%, 10 to 20% to the downside. That'd be like $80 Google. I would buy that, insta buy that. All right, let's do Tesla. I know some people, Tesla traders, right? Interesting. We'll do Twitter too, and then we'll move on. Tesla right here on the weekly had the bounce. I remember on 2 streams ago, I did call this pullback, right? On a shorter term time frame. So that did happen, but then we got the algos holding that support where 263. We did have a Tesla stock split, so it's not $900 anymore or $600. The split was here, August 25th. So the daily, it's trying to actually upcross, very interesting, but it needs to break through this resistance. People are not going to get super hyped about Tesla until we break through 315. Right? So it's stuck between this range right here. It says 20% range for investment, right? Because yes, we have the golden cross. That's good. Very, very good. But at the same time, I want to see it kind of break through. A little bit of ascending triangle pattern. Sometimes stocks doesn't make any sense. Like, why is this thing going up when the whole world economy is going down? Sometimes it doesn't make sense. It's just trading. But this could be dangerous, right? Because if I try to long it up here and it pulls back on me, you're gonna get stopped out on that. So nice area of value for short-term trading could be like 285. If somebody's gonna play the breakout, 315 breakout play. And the 4 hours are up cross. But again, I like to get in this type of scenario, not when it's up. We're gonna need some real powerful fundamental follow through on the news. This actually double bottom on the 1 hour. What a wonderful trade right here on the text box. But that was like 3 weeks ago. So that's why I'm not gonna chase this now. So we'll see what happens. 309 resistance on the top side. Support, if he ever gets down to 269 again, that'll be good. But 5 Fibonacci, the all-time high since Elon Musk sold. It's just holding above the 618 in the 50% Fibonacci. It's hard to see now. But there was some fundamental news, I think. Right, it could have been related to Twitter as well, something like that, or the factories. So let's do Twitter. So Twitter, very volatile, but according to the news, you might want to check this yourself if you're trading Twitter. But it looks like he's trying to escape the deal. That's what it looks like. But right here, the 5 days ago, the shareholders, they're trying to vote, or they did vote to buy the $44 billion buyout, right? They gave the okay for the sale. So now it's all between like Twitter and Musk and his legal team. So in terms of the stock, well, Fibonacci low to high. Lock this thing in. Right? It's just wedging and consolidating to the side. All of this is just noise. It's very tradable, but it was just kind of noisy. There's no clear trend. We went uptrend to downtrend, up to down to up again. So to me, that's an equilibrium, as some people would call it. And this thing is tightening up on these shorter term time frames. Just like Tesla, isn't it weird? Right? This price pattern looks exactly like Tesla we just looked at. So very algorithmic based. The algos and the hedge funds are very much in control of the price of trading. Is it low price right now? No, very similar to, no, it's not. Very similar to the Tesla setup. This was a great spot. This is almost on the same day. But now this is uptrending on the 4 hour. So we need to never go below $40.60. If it goes below that, okay, then $40 right here is the support level, right? Low, high. We have a potential trend change. High, this high or low, right? If this never goes below 40.80, you could have a nice breakout play. Possible. That's the bullish scenario. But if it rejects down here, okay, if it rejects down 42, this thing pulls back down, this could actually double top and then pull back down to 39. 3%. So nothing much going on there in terms of swing trading. Just patience. It's not oversold or anything. It's actually just kind of bouncing around in the middle right there. So when it's neutral like that, it's so news based, I'm not gonna really touch it. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. All right. Well, that's the thing. Nobody really knows for sure because the Twitter, like on the news, that because the news kind of comes out late, right? There's a Twitter whistleblower who kind of takes Elon Musk's side in terms of trying to block the deal, but at the same time, the Twitter shareholders voted to sell Twitter for 44 billion. So, that's all legal business. It's not really, traders can't control that. So whatever the outcome is, we'll find out someday when it's official. But in terms of earnings that I talked about, I'll just do a couple of the big ones. Like we have Costco earnings, Costco wholesale. If you don't know what that is, in America, it's a membership wholesale company where people can buy like food and goods at a slightly discounted bulk price. It's like a warehouse type of store, membership store. But Costco was very useful during the pandemic. We saw, right, people stocking up on food and supplies at Costco. The value since the pandemic start went up a lot. But what am I seeing on the charts right here? Huge potential head and shoulders, which could be absolutely bearish. Well, not absolutely, but it could be very bearish. It could be bad, right? You have a trip. You have double head and shoulders. There's a little one here, and then there's a huge one for investment, right? Which means this could break down. So it doesn't necessarily mean Costco's going to zero. It just means that if we keep losing the supports on the way down, Costco's in big trouble. Costco's in big trouble if we lose the support, right? We have earnings showing up right now. It's going to be very interesting to see their earnings because at least in America, or actually in uh, in America, actually, if you look at the Google COVID charts, worldwide the infections have come down. But personally, like if we compare 2020, 21, and now 22, is we haven't seen the winter COVID spike yet. We're about to live through it in the next 6 months. So that's what I'm really personally gonna be watching for, that data, right? In the winter for COVID, are we going to spike up? How high is it going to spike up? If it's just a little baby spike, then okay, maybe the pandemic is over. But if it spikes up a lot, then it's like, well, okay, it's not over, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how COVID plays into the supply and demand of this company and its own internal financials. But let's just that might be a little bit beyond this stream, the scope. Let's call it the support levels. Okay, if this huge head and shoulders is true, I'll call this the neckline here. Could be 30% to the downside if we lose that. 30% could be way down to the 327, the 1272 Fibonacci area. And if this baby head and shoulders, a small one here, is true, that could be 6% to downside. We already hit that target, so another 6% down would be 12%, would be 465. It's very interesting, right? This was very foreseeable once we lost that trend line on the bottom and the top side. Short, right? This is the textbook short setup. Happens all the time, right? You're going to uptrend and then you crash, you reject, and then boom, down. It's oversold. You bounce up on the intraday and then short down again. This is the pros right here, the professionals, right? So we'll see. But just beware of earnings. September 22. A resistance above 351 and 367. Next one, FedEx. Okay, this really affected the market. Who would have expected FedEx to really like crash the market, right? So on their news, they're actually reporting earnings. Did they already report earnings? No, I mean, I saw an article that they are reporting like something else this week. So maybe they reported early. Anyway, but either way, right here, the news. This was the big news on Friday. FedEx CEO saying we're gonna have a worldwide recession. It was like, well, Okay, but at the same time, is there FedEx has their own internal problems. They have like lawsuits with their contractors in the USA. Um, so we had a huge gap down, absolutely huge, 20%, 20%. Yep. So now, see if we can hold above the gap. See if we can hold above the gap down, right? There might be some additional news coming out this week, but this is an example of where we want to try not to catch a falling knife. Am I going to play FedEx? Most likely not. The only reason I would come back into FedEx is if we have a short squeeze on it and this thing starts bouncing up to the upside after a 20% sell off, 25%, right? If this thing starts bouncing up like crazy, maybe I'll buy some. But it could be just a lower high. And then if we have inflation interest rate problem, boom, we could have another down leg. So that's why sometimes on these shorts, you got to be beware. Was there spillover effect with UPS, the other competitor? Yes, there was. Downtrend, low high, boom, lower low. That's why sometimes it almost looks like a fear sell-off. But we have a hammer candle, so we'll watch out for that. See if this thing can maintain higher highs and recover. If not, it's just gonna make a lower high and then crash back down to like a 164. So watch out for that. I'll do one more stock. We'll just move on. Carnival Cruise. Carnival Cruise earnings, according to TradingView, is on the 29th. Other sources say it might be this week, so it just depends on if they do it this week or not. But still, CCL, Carnival Cruise, we did have the crash down out of this downtrend channel from last time. It's all measurable. It's all measurable. This was an interesting short or options play. If somebody could try to do it, 22, they went 40% down. Wow. That's why it's been just kind of consolidating here. Potential ascending triangle. Nice. But at the same time, at the resistance. So trying to get these support levels. Maybe if I want to enter this, maybe 940. Or if it's going to break out $11. Because if I play the breakout, the risk, I could get stopped out like 15%. That's kind of ridiculous. Unless someone's trying to target 30% to the upside, right? But the fact that it's doing this, okay, at least try to survive with the earnings, but I bet their earnings might be mixed, right? Same thing with the Jets ETF, the airplane ETF. The support is still $15 and the resistance still $21 to the upside. Okay, let's move on to crypto and we'll end soon. If you have a crypto request or anything, just go ahead and let me know in the live chat before we end and not right at the end of the stream. So we're doing crypto now. We're starting with total crypto market cap. And we did have the lower highs in terms of crashing back down. That's what I was saying last stream. Just be very careful for the downtrend continuation. So in terms of swing trading, this thing is going down, trending. Somebody could say 3 months ago, we were uptrending. Okay, yes. But then right here, right there, when we lost that wedge, the rising wedge, textbook, gonna fall down out of there, right? Lower highs, then you had a little bullish momentum bounce, but then the stock market crashed. Now we're at support again. Okay. If I look at it from the weekly perspective, well, support, we still have support at 845 billion. I'm hoping we could double bottom here, but again, crypto is not doing well right now. In general, if you talk about top 10, top 25 cryptos, it's not really doing that well right now, right? We crashed down a lot. The only gold and silver lining I can give to people is if the support holds, maybe we'll bounce. Maybe, right? If the global issues get better, or if some major government legal changes, we might bounce. But for now, all eyes on support to see how strong is this? Is this going to hold? If it doesn't, then crypto's in big trouble. Right? We had a huge pullback on some of these cryptos. It's already a descending triangle, right? So I want to see this thing hold like multiple times down here in terms of the support, 856 billion. I want to see this happen again. like a triple bottom, and then we can bounce out of here, right? Rally up, retest this, and get out of here. But if not, it'll crash down, reject below here, and then we're in big trouble for crypto bulls. Just watch out for that. Okay, Bitcoin finally. And Bitcoin. All right, starting with the weekly. All right, Bitcoin so lost the support of 19,000. Now we're looking at 18,000 support and 17,000 support as well. Rejected down below the EMA. See that on the weekly. So we're seeking out a weekly lower low, and we lost that support level. Is it low RSI? It is. But is everything low? No, not the daily. We did have this flash crash today, right? Bears are still in control. Lower low, lower high, lower low. So it might extend as far as it can go in the Asian European session. Maybe in the USA session tomorrow, we might get a little bit of a bounce or something like that. So we're gonna watch for that if you're a crypto trader, depending on your time zone. 4 hour starting its run into oversold territory. It's not out of it yet. Same thing with the hourly, not out of it yet. Right, so this is interesting. The 5 minute, 15, 1 hour, 4 hour is oversold. The daily is not, and the weekly is not. So swing traders, day traders, they might try to play this bounce, but remember the trend. Is it uptrending or downtrending? This thing is downtrending. Okay, it is not 3 months ago. So trying to buy a dip right now, it might result in a loss. So for me, I'm hands off. I've been in crypto market for years, and if it's not my setup, if it's not even going up as a bull, I'm not gonna buy it. No, thank you. Whenever it does bottom out, I want to see a huge bottoming out pattern. I want to see very powerful support levels, and then reversal, and then I'm gonna buy. Right? Because catching a falling knife equals losses. So resistance is 20,000. Now it's 19,000 is resistance itself. Try to get, if we could get back up to above 20,000, now that's the big number we have to break. All right, let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum USD on the daily. So Ether taking a big hit, even with the merger announcement news, still holding above this. The resistance is still holding above the trend line above. And if we kind of rewind to 2 years ago, we lost that trend line. Once we lost the trend line and we had a huge head and shoulders, I am out of there. I have not touched Ethereum for like 6 months or a year. Why? Because I know from experience, just from experience and knowledge, is you get the head and shoulders, this thing is going down. How far down? It should have went down negative 80%. It didn't really, yeah, it did go there. Negative 80, negative 90 might be in the cards at some point. But the low support is 1055 or even 1,000. It's at 1,300. Ethereum not doing well on the long-term investment. Have to wait for it. Wait for it to bottom out. Again, we have this kind of descending triangle formation right now. So when I see these yellow lines, I'm thinking, oh, there's a support way down here. It could bounce, of course, but the target is $1,000. And then it will be oversold. And then we might bottom out and have a chance at a breakout. The only thing that overrides the charts is the news. So if like Ethereum becomes legal in some country, that'll change everything. It's going to change everything. But right now, crypto taking the hit into the oversold range. So, whoever's watching this, if you're a bull, maybe, for example, somebody's watching this, these vertical lines, for example, in the downtrend, if someone's trying to play a downtrend bounce, is, if it's going to bounce, it might bounce, but how high? And is it the bottom? This one was not the bottom. This one was sort of the bottom, but not the true bottom compared to 1 month later, right? So this is where the TA skills come into play, and money management, risk management. If somebody's having issues with that, I would say if you have a free TradingView account, just go ahead, open up your trading panel and paper trade first. Paper trade first. You could paper trade unlimited fake money here on TradingView, right? You just reset it. Although I don't recommend resetting it because too much, because then your progress gets messed up. But paper trade USA stocks and USD crypto to your heart's desire, and learn and test your strategies, or test experiment. This is the experimental arena right here with the order types and such. I used to do that all the time. But these days with crypto, the way it is right now with inflation and the market is, I'm more hands off on crypto unless there's some kind of amazing chart setup. If there is no amazing chart setup, I'm not even touching it. No way. The only good thing is it is getting it close to a, well, if we use here, if we do week to week analysis, all right, it's in the 618. Somebody loves 618. See if this thing can reverse somewhere above $1,200. So support at like 1,200, resistance 1,400 or 1,500. See if that holds. If it doesn't, 1,100 is in the cards. So I'm gonna let the price be my guide. Binance coin. And you might be wondering, wait a second, why is this guy doing the major cryptos? Because that's what I trade, and that's what has the most liquidity. And that's how somebody doesn't lose like negative 80% or negative 50% in one day in terms of a crash, by playing the majors, both stocks and crypto. Okay, weekly, low, high, low, high. Okay. Now, two scenarios are going to happen with Binance coin. Either, right, we hit this lower low here at 170 support, like 175, or if it's bullish scenario, for whatever reason, we get a nice upside down hitting shoulders. That could be a 50%, but that has to break out of here first. But that means something extremely good has to change in the world to break this to break this 323 neckline, right? Now, if we draw three lines like that and the resistance trend line, it's not that hard to understand what's going on here. And just patience is in order. Patience is the key with crypto. Sometimes you have to wait like a year, 2 years, 3 years for the bottom. Just like over here, from 2018 to 2019, it was 1 year straight from top to bottom for crypto, basically. So if our high was November 2021, 2 months, 3 months, that would be the 1 year since our crypto high. A lot can happen in 2 months for crypto, right? But again, if I'm honest with myself, is it uptrending right now, or is it downtrending? It is downtrending right now. Or if somebody wants to say a mega consolidation, sideways / going down. It's not that great as an investment right now. It's high, right? It's high price. Yes, it's in the relative 618, but I would like to buy a little cheaper for my style, 150 or like even $83 or lower. Remember, Binance coin was like $5, $6 at one point at the pandemic low. It's like $8, $10, right? That's the stuff I like to buy. Not $500 Binance coin at the top. No, thank you. Again, it's towards the top of this resistance. So it's either going to find support and break out, or this thing is going to crash down. Right? So all that matters really is just the general buy low, sell high. Okay, that's what I'm just trying to get the point across. Is sometimes people get caught up in the euphoria, like the Dogecoin 70 cents and stuff like that. Or you just get caught up in the times. And so that's where the emotional control and emotional discipline, the knowledge, experience comes into play. Because once Dogecoin and Bitcoin was at 65,000, Dogecoin 70 cents, Bitcoin 65,000, Binance coin $700. I said no thank you, and I sold all my coins right there. So yes, there are a bunch of tradable setups, but the last low was the low I called here. It was months ago, June, July low. So this is what everyone's mark in the sand is now. Are we going to retest June, July low, even for stocks? Everyone's just kind of question mark thinking that right now. So if you're an investor, having some cash on the side is not a bad thing, right? If you have some discretionary investing cash, just to wait, see like, okay, if this thing's going to keep going down, negative 40%, I would take Binance Coin negative 40% discount if it was at the store. I'll buy that instead of right now because I don't need to use it right now. Okay, just giving some of my thought process. Okay, let's move on here. Do a couple more. Solana USD. Solana. So again, Solana. Are we uptrending or downtrending or consolidating? We're actually kind of consolidating sideways, right? Uptrending, right? We were uptrending for a year sideways to the downside. And again, my stream is more long-term swing trading, investing. I'm not a day trading scalper or sniper. I used to be. I used to be a shorter-term swing trader. But if the more experience you have in the market, right, the more you know that trying to scalp snipe just like one piece of this thing doesn't really matter. Because crypto, everyone wants the 1000%. Everyone wants the 10x. Even in stocks, you get a 10x stock, that's like the best investment of a trader's life, investor's life, basically, right? So same thing with crypto is people see the big greens and they want to jump in at the top, and that's not the place to do it. You want to jump in when it's at the bottom or nearing a bottom. So Solana at its 0.88 retrace for now, not the most trusted coin or network anymore after their crash problem. We are finding some support here along the $27 range, but also this kind of channel exists, but it's not really the best analysis. So I'm just going to leave the triangle. So now you can see that, is it uptrending? It's not. It's not uptrending. I'm just very honest, no hype, no shilling. It's just we either hold the support, yes or no. Can the price hold, yes or no? If it does, great. We might bounce up to 47.73 at the top side. That would be a phenomenal 65% profit. Beautiful. But if it doesn't, crashing down to 27, we lose that liquidity down to $20 right here. So these are the two targets that I have in my mind right now. But I like to do support setups. Stop loss, let's say $22. That's a huge, this is more of an investment example, right? If someone's trying to make 50% or 75%, that's an investment example. But negative 25% of a, medium-sized position or a small-sized position, that's not that bad, right? If somebody's going to attempt to do it, it's not financial advice. But I'm just saying, if I had to choose, it's like a practice example. If I had to choose a spot on the chart, let's just say I'm looking at this price data. I like this. Where would I want to buy? Would I want to buy in point A, point B, or point C, right? If I had to really choose, if there's only like 3 spots to buy, and like I'm talking about a bull green setup like this, where would somebody probably want to buy long green? A, B, or C? In general, if they're trying to like buy low and sell high or trying to make profit, right? In terms of investment, probably C. For even though it's not the best environmental global condition right now, but in this example, right, if somebody bought at A, they're down negative 87%. Somebody bought at B, they're down negative 79%. If somebody bought at C, you're still up 20% on an investment, right? So that's how I kind of think about it. The only problem is it's on the downtrending side. So nobody really knows how far it's going to go down until I see a huge bottoming out or reversal signal. So I haven't seen that yet. That's why I'm not calling a lot of crypto investments yet. It hasn't happened yet. Unfortunately to say, right? When we enter a crypto winter, it could be very painful mentally. and emotionally, right? There is no uptrend price pattern that has sustained and has continued follow through. So no, not ready yet. There's plenty of day trading scalping setups, right? Little day trade here, like 3%, little small swing trade, 20% for a week. That all that is perfectly fine. But what I'm saying though is the investment, because Bitcoin needs to reverse and go up for crypto to go up. Generally. Okay, next one. Let's move on to Cardano. Cardano, everybody's favorite under dollar coin, or used to be, right? It's consolidating now. This is 100% textbook consolidation. This chart almost looks like Google. It's the cheap Google type of chart feeling. 30% range. For swing trading, that's nice, right? You 30% every couple of weeks or every month, once a month. That's pretty nice. Very nice swing trading opportunities. At the bottom here, though, right? I'm pretty sure somebody accidentally bought at the top here, got stopped out, or losses. But you want to try to get at the bottom. Buy low, sell high. But for crypto, it likes to really pierce down into it. So I've been looking in this 40 cents, 37, 36 cents range right down here. Although the volatility for stop loss, again, it could be like a 20%. So again, these are larger investment setups. The only good thing is if it holds down there, the price. If the price holds down there, it's right at the 0.88 retrace. I would love it if Cardano and crypto stopped crashing down. This could become potentially a very strong bottoming out pattern. In a bullish scenario, this could go back to $1, but if it's bearish, it'll break down and it's going to like 20 cents. Right, so this is where playing support and resistance absolutely critical. So I'm gonna actually put alerts because this is a very important setup for Cardano. Let's put our alerts. Look at the resistance, 52 cents. VA resistance channel breakout question mark. That's what I want to know. Is it gonna break out or not? Set that alert. And then the liquidity zone, I'll put it right at like an even 40 cents. Type that in manually. 40 every time. Support. Entry setup, question mark. Now, I'm gonna have to edit this one. Now, I don't have to stare at this chart all the time anymore. Don't have to. Right? So this is where the emotional control comes into play. This is either going to be a real support or it's going to be fake. It's going to be real support and rally or fake and break down. So Cardano could turn into a good play eventually. We just need a little bit more patience from me. We are seeing some of this oversold action, but the daily's not there yet. Let's do Doge. I'll skip some of these. I'll just call it out on stream. So XRP consolidating into this triangle still. A little bit of a breakout attempt, but the support right above 32 cents. AVAX. We had a little bit of a pump, but see, it just crashed back down in one day. So this is pump and dump, 20% pump and dump. So if somebody's trying to do this type of trading, pump and dump, very, very risky. Would not recommend it at all. But you have to get in as early as possible and then just sell. So a trader, if somebody tried to do this setup for whatever reason over the weekend, had to have the profit target exit, entry, and stop loss. Those three numbers. If you have an exchange that can import those numbers, had to input that, and then if somebody doesn't input that, they woke up today and then is down, right? So that's the problem with trying to like scalp crypto. AVAX, the 4 hours oversold because of our crypto crash, flash crash on the intraday. We lost the wedge. Okay. 50% target to the downside from the measured move. That'll take us back down to $13, the all-time low of 2022. So if you've been watching the stream, there's a repetitive theme. June lows, June low price, support of June, right here in the box. Everybody is concerned about that right now, stocks and crypto. So if we hit this lower low, okay, it could go down to $14, $15, no problem. There, then I like to pick it up. We're entering the oversold RSI range. I would like to see this thing get crushed as deep as possible. It might pierce down below the support trend line into this zone, support zone, about $15, and then it might bounce when crypto bounces. Next, dot right into our support zone from last time, the support area. Okay, but it's not out of there yet. It's entering into it. Maybe I might take a position here, maybe. Why am I saying maybe? Because of FOMC and stock market volatility. If the stocks this week rally, that would be beautiful, because then crypto might actually short squeeze, and then we might rally in crypto as well. So it's very sensitive in this coming week for direction. That's 2-to-1. Just to reward Dogecoin. Looking at it from this very broad wedge, excuse me. Looking at this broad wedge, we lost the support level. We lost the EMAs, downtrending. Pivot point, okay, 50 or 0.053, 0.050. These two are mathematically calculated support levels on the downside. Are we extremely oversold? Not extremely, but it is entering in that 4-hour, 1 hour. But the 15-minute, 5 minutes already starting to bounce over the past couple hours. Asia session. So very similar analysis applies. And so you can see some weeks it's at the bottom. Some weeks when I do the stream, it's at the top. Some weeks it's in the middle. That's why I just take whatever the chart gives me and work with it. SHIB, downtrend after the attempt to have down head and shoulders, and in a downtrend now. Support levels, is this correct? Generally on the wick side. So if we're using counterbody wicks, which I probably won't, let me use the counterbody close. There could be a significant drop here for sure SHIB. If it keeps going down, right? If it keeps going down. Low, high, low, right? 900 range. That support. You want to see a drop down right here, right? There's attempt, just like here, falling knife, bounce attempt, consolidation, symmetrical triangle, descending triangle, breakdown. Same thing, right? We had the descending triangle, breakdown. So now it's how far is the breakdown going to go? So if somebody's thinking, this guy's not giving any setups, it's actually I am. It's just way ahead of time. So the setup to enters is probably somewhere down here, potentially 800, 900, 700, right? It's the patience part of that. Trying to enter into that, and then trying to capture the 50% or 100% bounce if it happens. If you get stopped out, it's okay. That's trading. Can't just can't get stopped out too many times. So Matic. Remember saying Matic, watch out for that support wedge being lost. That did happen. Now again, we're seeing this descending triangle everywhere in the crypto market, everywhere. So the question is, we're going to hold support or not? Matic just lost the 382. Okay, 50% is the target, 68 cents or 59 cents on the downside. Low high, where's the lower low? Where's the lower high bounce? And where's the next lower low? Definitely possible. A lot of these are looking bearish. Bullish, it has to hold the support and then uptrend. If it doesn't uptrend, it's not going up, literally. Death cross on the 4-hour. Oversold, but you see a momentum trend change. Okay, Adam was different last time. Adam, I was saying that there's this double top, so watch out for all these support level pullback, and we hit the first one at 1460. Not quite super oversold yet. But to me, Adam was uptrending. This was an interesting bull play, right? 50% in about 3 weeks. So it found the resistance and now people are selling off. So next support level maybe 13.50 or $12 on the downside. Let's erase that. Okay, near we did hit basically the downside target. The X marks a spot, support at 386. Daily, this is looking kind of suspicious. Lower low, lower high. So now we're testing the support low 364. Can we get it or not? All right, I'm not going to do all of these. I remember someone asked for Ape coin last time, so I'll just kind of skip over to Ape. So what we were saying last time is there's an EMA support level 1 here. And surprisingly enough, right, that's our support pivot point. We had the rally, the higher low, the rally attempt based upon the uptrend, but then the pullback. So what that means is the broader stock market, the broader crypto market is not in bullish mode. It's not bullish right now, the environment. So, trying to buy and time the exact bottom is actually very challenging. So instead of trying to time the exact bottom, is just try to get in at a good low price, as low as possible for both Bitcoin, whatever you try to do, as low as possible, and then try to hold that in general. Right, so now this is in play now. See if these wicks make sense. It does. It does. This chart, this channel actually makes total sense, right? You had this nice rally attempt here. It's been in a downtrend since the ICO pump. Downtrend to an uptrend to a downtrend we tried to uptrend based upon last week, but then it's still setting that lower high on the weekly. Double top resistance right below $6. Now I would be a little bit careful with Ape. Because if it cannot hold these support levels, 461 and $4, look at all of this open space here for a crash on Ape. It is possible. How long could it take? 2 weeks to 3 months. So maybe like a month to 3 months. If we do not break out above here in Bitcoin, I would be very cautious of Ape. Because this could happen. Resistance attempt, triple top, and then the massive sell-off. Everybody going to get liquidated down to $3 or $2. It's possible if the market crashes. So please be careful about Ape coin and some of the smaller or volatile coins. And we have to remember that all cryptocurrencies, none of them are safe. It's not a safe asset. It's a risk asset, very volatile, very risky, could lose some or all of your money in crypto trading or stock trading or options or leverage forex. That's why you never hear me try to I try to do higher chance probability setups like my Nvidia chart setup. All I needed was one good short last month of more than negative 20% range, right? And then I don't need to do anything, right? I don't need to chase every single penny stock or penny crypto in the world. Doesn't matter as much, right? So if I'm very honest with myself, is this downtrending or uptrending? This thing is downtrending, right? On the weekly time scale. As an investor, this thing is now downtrending, right? The daily, it could be said that somebody's trying to save it, but low, high, if we do not hold above 450, we're going down. So I think that's what I said last time too. We have to hold this higher low. That's what people try to do. But retail traders, we can't hold it up forever. Okay, I think we're just gonna do a couple of Forex and then we're gonna end. Let's do Euro USD. I'll use a different one in chart. Just use the forex.com one. This one looks clean. So Euro USD, we'll look at the DXY US dollar as well. So clearly in the downtrend, right? This is what I'm saying is when something's downtrending, until I see some massive bottoming out formation, I'm not touching. I'm not touching this asset unless you're trying to short it. But it's already been shorted down for so long. It's only at a certain point when it bottoms. Might look like this: double bottom, upside down head and shoulder pattern, or a huge consolidation with a breakout, V-shaped recovery, any of one of those, right? Has it happened yet? No. That's why I'm keeping an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. Weekly's in oversold range, daily's not oversold, 4 hours not oversold, right? Still in a downtrend. So again, patience is the key. Now, if we switch over to DXY, dollar currency index, it's going to be the exact opposite. Is we had our double bottom and then our subsequent rally. It is getting a little bit in the high zone, not extremely high, but we're starting to see the bearish momentum forming on the weekly. So it's going to be a tipping point. It's a scale. If our DXY tops out and pulls back down, perhaps the stock market of USA, S&P 500, and NASDAQ will rise. So that this thing comes down, the stocks might go up, Bitcoin might go up, Euro USD might go up, like things might reverse. So that's why the social sentiment, it's always good to not get too fearful or too like euphoric. That's why for me on my stream, I sound almost like flat sometimes because I do it on purpose because I learn from experience. I never want to get too excited. I never want to get too afraid. Just try to stay neutral. Because the chart is actually neutral. Okay, this is getting kind of philosophical, metaphysical type of thing. But the chart is neutral. The chart has no emotions. Humans have emotions. People have emotions, right? This is just mathematical flat data. It's plain in terms of the number, right? The number itself has no emotion. So it's just something to think about. So as this thing is losing bearish momentum, right? This thing's losing bearish momentum. Watch out for it. If this thing's going to pull back, where can we pull back to? The EMA is obviously 107, 105, 102, 196. If it gets really bad, but this will only come down if like the inflation like stops rising. But most likely 108 to the 105 is more reasonable. So just leave those two there. All right, let's look at GPB, GBP, JPY. We look at pound, yen. Some people look at this. Okay, FXCM. So pound yen also in a uptrend, and we have a golden cross on this. So one thing I should know about DXY too is we have the golden cross, but it's so overextended, right? So at some point, it's not gonna. It's like Jenga. This is not going infinity to the sky. Most likely won't. Uptrend in here, so we have strong support at 162, 159, 155, and 150 as well. Resistance 168. All right, this one is not over yet. Weekly, yep. We're not really seeing signs of bearish momentum. It's not super overextended like up here, like DXY. Although the 1 hour and the 4 hour starting to down cross a little bit. So we want to watch out for that. Just small little pullbacks, 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 hour, the 4 hour, hitting that 200 EMA on this little sell off. And that could be because who knows, could be Japan tsunami. I saw that on the news, the weather. There's Taiwan earthquake. We know what happened with in the UK this past month. Russia-Ukraine war. So there, European energy, right? There's all these issues in Europe and Asia. But a 2% sell-off, that's pretty extreme, right? This was a bearish setup here. It used to be bearish momentum. That's what I'm talking about. But now it's hit some relative bottom. So I'm looking for a reversal here now. Okay. So hopefully this all makes sense for everybody. I went over a little bit. If you have any requests, please let me know now before we end the stream. If I don't see any requests, probably just gonna call it here. And while I'm waiting for that, let's just I'm just gonna look at the global indexes. Sometimes it's good. I learned this from Chairman Jerome Powell, is on the weekends when the market is basically closed, just take a look at the global indexes. Like, why not? The world is global now. So I just visually look at it on a daily. What's the S&P 500? NASDAQ, we look at these. Dow Jones. Let me skip this. Russia ETF still getting destroyed down here in terms of the price, down negative 75% in the ETF. Right? Shenzhen, I don't know how to say it, Shenzhen or whatever it is for China index in a downtrend. Right? Nikkei 225, Japan index. There's a little bit more consolidation, right? But it's still, we do this a long time ago, but it broke out above the triangle, but it's still downtrending. Still stuck in its larger consolidation range. Kind of an ugly chart. The Hang Seng index, this is Hong Kong. Downtrend, right? If you look at this, 2021 to 2022 is a straight up downtrend. Euro next is very similar to America charts. Euro stocks 50, not as similar, but still in the downtrend, but trying to find support. Right, this is more of a like descending. So again, if the Euronext 50 Euronext stocks can't hold this low, big trouble. If it can hold the low and bounce back up, there's the recovery. The UK 100 consolidating. This was a support play from months ago, and then it did recover off of the low, pull back into the bounce, but still it's still in the consolidation range for over 1 year. So that's all I'm gonna say. Right, in this middle part now, support at 7,000. What is it, pounds? Or 7,700 pounds. The Sense X is India. India seems to always like to rally here. It had a huge rally, pull back, and another huge rally. But watch out for this double top right here if you're trading this. 61,000 Indian rupees. Right? You want to watch out for that double top because that could be a ceiling. That could be bad. And if we lose this trend line, which is almost about to do, it could actually pull back. So just pull back down. So watch out for that. Nifty 50, the same thing. The Toronto Stock Exchange is not as close to America Stock Index, but now this resistance line is our top side, right? Consolidating right now. So the support needs to hold. You need to break the resistance on the top. Okay, somebody said something about Ethereum. Okay, the sell-off, like I'm saying right now, it's like lunchtime in Asia right now, and Europe is going to come online soon. So again, if it's downtrending, I am not surprised if it keeps going down. The question is when is it going to stop for me as a bull? Because in America, our exchanges, we cannot short crypto for the most part. So in America, that's why we're mostly long only crypto traders. In America, exchanges only. So that's why for me, I'm long biased on crypto. If I could short, I would have shorted a long time ago. I would have shorted 1 year ago. But again, let me draw multiple supports, right? Because again, I'm a swing trader. Longer term, you could just use this. Lost to 618. We lost 1,300. No problem. The next support level down is 1200, 1100. Very simple. Simple support levels. But again, in terms of the sell-off, do I see any bottoming out pattern at the time of making the stream? No, not yet. You want to see it kind of do low, high, low, high. You want to see it stop dropping. If it keeps dropping, you know it's not the low. We know it's not the low. It needs to stop. It needs to just stop dropping and form. Maybe right here at 1200, because that's where a Fibonacci level is. Maybe 1200, 1170 right here. And the targets to the upside could be like easy 1500, 1600. But we'll just leave it there. And again, I'm going to close out by saying that this week, if you are not in my Discord, before every stream, I release this, right? A basic, the stock earnings volatility watch list, the economic data for USA, financial data, and some general current events and news. And so we know that the big events for this week, it's not even crypto. It's not crypto. It's Federal Reserve, USA stock market, economic, Federal Reserve press conference, the statement, the interest rate change is going to raise it 75 basis points or 100 basis points on Wednesday. Which one is it going to be? Then economic projections. And then Fed Chairman Powell is going to speak again on Friday. This is going to move the market. This will determine, for the most part, besides breaking global fundamental news, right, what other Federal Reserve Bank interest rates are going to do as well this month. That will determine the direction of the stock market unless it has company-specific news. So I'll just wrap it up right there. To be aware of that, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We also have the bank CEOs testifying before U.S. House and Senate this Thursday and Friday. So it's big events this week for finance and tech. All right, so thank you so much, everybody, for watching this stream. Appreciate the 500 coins. Thank you again so much, P. Peloso. Really appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the stream for all this time. I appreciate everybody who follows and watches on TradingView, YouTube, Twitch, and Discord. And if you want to give me a follow on any of those platforms, would be much appreciated. I do want to end on one special note saying just beware of scams, spams, and just kind of like like fake accounts. If if you get any of those types of like direct messages from random people, just report it to the social media, delete it, block that person. Just beware of those scammer, because they're on every social media platform. All right, everybody. So I hope you have a good week of trading or investing, and I'll see you next weekend. Let's stay strong out there. See you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.